The battle was over. Elaris 3 lay quiet, but its people were alive. Governor Lyra Hale walked through the streets. The buildings were damaged, some burned, but life was returning. Children played among the ruins, and farmers began to plant again. She stopped at a small memorial, a simple stone with the names of those who had died. "We will remember you," she said softly. Admiral Dane Riker arrived with his officers. He had come down from the Vengeance to meet the colony's leaders. His face was tired but proud. "You kept your people alive," he said to Lyra. "That was the hardest part." "We fought to live until you came," she replied. "And you saved us." They shook hands, two leaders bound by war and hope. Across the colony, soldiers worked side by side with civilians to rebuild homes, fix power plants, and clear debris. The human spirit was strong, even after so much pain. Riker gave a speech to the people. "We came when no one else would," he said, "because Earth does not forget. We protect those who cannot protect themselves. We fight so that no colony is left alone in the dark." His words spread across the galaxy through messages and broadcasts. Other colonies heard them, and a new hope grew. Alien leaders watched closely. Some feared Earth's power. Others wanted to speak. Earth had made one thing clear. Humanity was a force to be reckoned with. Governor Hale stood under the stars at night. She looked up at the Earth ships shining like guardians in the sky. She whispered, "Thank you." Earth's war fleet was gone now, returning home, but the promise remained. When no one else came, Earth did. And the galaxy would never forget. The sky over Calros 9 was too quiet. Commander Lyra Voss stood on the roof of the colony's command tower, scanning the horizon. She had seen many battles in her life, but this silence was worse than any war noise. It was the silence before something terrible. Calros 9 was a human colony on the edge of the galaxy. It had farms, homes, schools, and a few defense towers. Life was simple here, peaceful. People came to Calros 9 to escape war, not to find it. But peace never lasted long at the edge of space. Earlier that day, a strange signal had reached the colony. It wasn't human. It was old, cold, and full of static. Then came another signal, and another. Then the satellites stopped responding. One by one, the sky went dark. Now the people of Calros 9 were afraid. Lyra walked into the command room. Her second in command, Sergeant Kell, looked up from the control panel. "Anything?" Lyra asked. Kell shook his head. No response from Earth. No fleet. No help. Lyra sighed. "Then we're on our own." Just then, the warning sirens began to scream. A young technician, Jace, ran in, pale and sweating. "They're here." On the large screen, a massive alien fleet entered orbit. Black ships with red glowing engines, sharp, insect-like designs. The symbol on their hulls was known to everyone in the galaxy. The Zarkith swarm. "They found us," Lyra said. Her voice was calm, but inside, she was burning with fear and fury. And they didn't come to talk. The Zarkith were not like other alien races. They didn't want land, trade, or peace. They only wanted to destroy. They moved from world to world, leaving nothing behind. No one had ever stopped them. The colony's loudspeakers turned on. "This is Commander Voss," Lyra said. "All civilians, report to shelters. All defense units, prepare for combat. This is not a drill." Below, people ran through the streets. Parents carried children. Old folks helped each other to the bunkers. The sky above them was filling with red light. The ships were coming closer. Lyra looked at her small defense team. 25 trained soldiers, a few combat drones, 3 working gun turrets, and 1 tired old commander. It wasn't enough. Sergeant Kell stepped beside her. "Commander, we're not ready for this." Lyra nodded. "I know, but we don't have a choice." She turned to the room. "Listen up. This colony is home to over 5,000 people. They are counting on us. If we fall, They'd fall. We will not let that happen. Do you understand me? Yes, Mom. The team shouted. Good. Get to your positions. Make every shot count. Outside, the first Zarkith dropships entered the atmosphere. Flames followed them as they tore through the sky. They would land in minutes. Jace, the young tech, pulled Lyra aside. I sent another signal to Earth, a strong one. Boosted it through the mining relays. If anyone's listening, maybe they'll come. Lyra looked into his eyes. So young, so hopeful. Good work, Jace, she said. But don't wait on a miracle. We fight with what we've got. He nodded, but he didn't give up hope. As the alien ships grew larger in the sky, Lyra stood on the wall with her rifle in hand. The ground shook as the first dropships landed. The Zarkith crawled out. Tall, armored beasts with glowing weapons and claws like blades. The colony's turrets opened fire. Explosions lit up the ground. The battle had begun. Lyra took aim and fired. One alien dropped, then another, but there were too many. Inside the bunkers, civilians huddled together. Children cried. Parents tried to stay brave. The walls shook with every blast. Outside, Lyra and her team fought like demons. They knew they couldn't win, but they could slow the enemy down. Every minute they held the line gave the people below another chance. Commander, Kel shouted. They're pushing toward the main bunker. Lyra turned to her team. We hold them here. We do not fall back. More explosions, more gunfire. The sky darkened with smoke and fire. The Zarkith kept coming. Jace, still in the command tower, looked at his signal board. No answer. No Earth fleet. Nothing. Still, he whispered to himself, someone will come. They have to. Down below, Lyra reloaded her rifle. Her armor was scorched. Blood ran down her arm. But her eyes were full of fire. Even if they were alone, she would not give up. Earth or no Earth, she said, we stand our ground. And as the last defense turret went silent and the enemy pushed forward, Lyra raised her weapon one more time. The Earth ship Vengeance moved through the black void of space. It was a giant warship, over a kilometer long. Its hull was thick with armor. Its sides held hundreds of missile pods and plasma cannons. At the front, a glowing Terran eagle symbol marked it as the pride of Earth's fleet. Inside the ship, Admiral Dane Riker stood in the command center, staring at the message from Elaris 3. The colony's voice was weak, full of fear. The words were clear. Please, help us. We're dying. Riker clenched his fists. How long until we reach the system? He asked. 35 hours, sir, the navigator replied. We'll have to jump through the edge of Calfor space. Riker nodded. Do it. Prepare for full battle on arrival. The officers moved quickly. They knew the Calfor. Every Terran soldier did. The aliens didn't talk. They didn't trade. They just destroyed. Earth had seen what they did to other species. Burned cities, broken moons, silent dead planets. Riker had sworn it would never happen to a human world. He walked to the main screen. It showed a map of the stars. Elaris 3 blinked red at the edge of the map. It was far from Earth, a lonely colony. Too far, maybe, but not forgotten. Open ship-wide channel, he said. A voice came through the ship. Channel open. Riker spoke loud and clear. This is Admiral Riker. 30 hours from now, we drop into Elaris 3. The Calfor are there. They're killing our people, burning our colony. You all know what that means. He paused. No one else came. Not the Varn. Not the Zurithi. Not the peacekeepers. Only us. Only Earth. His voice grew hard. We are not here to rescue survivors. We are here to make survivors. We hit the Calfor with everything we have, and we do not stop until that colony stands free again. Across the ship, the crew cheered. Pilots prepped fighters. Engineers checked weapons. Soldiers kissed pictures of family and loaded their gear. Humanity had learned long ago that the galaxy was cruel. But Earth didn't bow. Earth fought back. Riker turned to his second-in-command, Captain Lena Zhao. "Ready the fleet for jump," he said. "We're punching through the void." She nodded. "All ships reporting green status. Jump drive charging." He gave the order. "Engage." The stars outside stretched and twisted. A blue light filled the ship. Then, silence. The Vengeance and its fleet vanished from normal space. Inside the jump corridor, time and space bent. Ships trembled. Metal groaned. The void didn't like to be crossed. Some alien races refused to use these corridors. They feared the shadows that moved within. They said the void had minds of its own, that it watched travelers, that it remembered. But humans? Humans didn't care. They built engines and shields and flew into the dark anyway. On board the Vengeance, Admiral Riker stood without fear. He had seen war. He had seen what happened when no one fought back. He had seen colonies fall. Not this time. Suddenly, the ship shook. "Distortion detected," shouted a tech officer. "Something's in the corridor with us." Riker stepped forward. "Calthor." "No, sir," said the officer. "Something. Older. Unknown readings." The lights flickered. A strange hum filled the air. For a moment, everyone felt cold. Not in the body, in the soul. And then it passed. The ship stabilized. "Hold the course," Riker said. "I don't care if ghosts live in here. They're not stopping us." His crew smiled. Their admiral was a warrior. They would follow him anywhere, even through the haunted void. Back on Illyris 3, the situation was worse. Governor Hale led a small team to the outer edge of the bunker. They had only 6 working drones left. Every hour, more Calthor landed. The colony's power grid was failing. Medical supplies were almost gone. Children cried in the dark, and parents tried to stay brave. But in the center of all that fear stood Lyra Hale. She didn't run. She didn't sleep. She gave orders, fixed power lines, carried wounded, and told everyone the same thing. Earth is coming. Some didn't believe it. Some said it was too far, too late. But Lyra believed. And deep in the sky, something moved, too far to see yet. But it was coming, and it was angry. The ground shook under the thunder of war. Earth's fleet was not here to talk. It was here to fight. Dropships poured from orbit, crashing into the scorched fields of Illyris 3. Soldiers poured out like a flood, wearing heavy armor, their faces grim but full of fire. Admiral Dane Riker watched from the command deck of the Vengeance. His eyes never left the battlefield. "Bring me full assault," he ordered. "Leave no Calthor alive." The Calthor tried to stand their ground. Their war beasts roared and charged. Their soldiers fired strange weapons that burned flesh and metal alike. But Earth's soldiers pushed forward. Tanks rolled across the broken ground. Mechs stomped through the alien lines, their massive legs crushing debris and enemy alike. Plasma rifles fired in bursts. Grenades exploded. Fighters flew low, blasting enemy ranks with laser cannons. Earth's Marines fought with a fierce strength born of pain and rage. They remembered every world abandoned, every colony left to die. "This is for Illyris 3, one Marine whispered before charging. On the ground, Governor Lyra Hale moved with the soldiers. She carried a pulse rifle and helped clear bunkers and tunnels. Her people were alive because of Earth's fury, and now she fought beside them. "Push them back," she yelled. Soldiers from other colonies watched the battle from afar. Some hid behind screens, some whispered prayers, some realized Earth was different now. The Calthor began to falter. Their weapons jammed or overheated. Their war beasts fell one by one. The aliens didn't understand Earth's tactics. They had never faced such unity and fury. Admiral Riker broadcast a message across the battlefield. "This is Earth Fleet Command. We came for justice. We came for every world you tried to destroy. Your reign ends here." The Calthor responded with a scream that shook the air. a last desperate charge. But Earth was ready. A squad of mechs formed a wall, blocking the alien charge. Rockets flew. Plasma fire lit the sky. Then, with a thunderous blast, the Kelthor lines broke. They fled. The ground was littered with the dead, humans and aliens alike. But the survivors stood tall. Admiral Riker turned to his officers. "Secure the colony," he said. "Begin rebuilding. And send a warning to the galaxy. Earth protects its own." Back at the colony, Governor Hale gathered her people in the main square. The war was over for now, but the scars ran deep. "We survived because Earth came," she said, "because Earth remembered us when no one else did." The crowd cheered. "Now," she continued, "we rebuild. We grow stronger. We will never be forgotten again." Above them, Earth's ships hovered like silent guardians. The galaxy had watched. The message was clear. When Earth fights, the universe listens. The battle for Illyris III was over. But the war was not. Months after the Earth fleet left, Governor Lyra Hale stood on a rebuilt tower, watching the stars. The colony was healing, but the scars ran deep. Earth's help had saved them, but the galaxy was still full of dangers. Reports came in every day. New systems under attack. Old enemies growing stronger. The Kelthor were retreating, but not defeated. Deep in the shadows beyond known space, strange signals pulsed. Ships moved silently, unknown, powerful, and waiting. Admiral Dane Riker stood on Earth's flagship, the Vengeance, now docked for repairs. He stared at the star maps, his face hard. "We pushed back the Kelthor," he told his officers. "But something else is out there. Something bigger." His crew nodded quietly. No one spoke of fear. They spoke of preparation. Earth had made a promise to protect its people and all those who could not protect themselves. But the void was dark and full of secrets. One night, Lyra received a message from Earth. "We're sending more ships," it said. "We won't let this end with one battle." She smiled. Hope was alive. The galaxy was watching. And Earth was ready. Because when the void grows darker, humanity's light burns brighter. The bunker doors shook under heavy fire. The Kelthor were closing in. Their tall, armored soldiers moved like machines. Their weapons melted walls and cut through metal like paper. Nothing could stop them for long. Inside the main bunker, families huddled in fear. Children cried quietly. Old people whispered prayers. The lights flickered as power drained fast. Governor Lyra Hale stood near the door, holding a rifle. She hadn't slept in 2 days. Her body was tired, but her eyes were sharp. "How long can the outer wall hold?" she asked. 15 minutes, maybe less," said Sergeant Kalin, one of the last remaining soldiers. Lyra nodded. "Then we fight until the end." Kalin looked at her. "Ma'am, Earth might not make it in time." "They're coming," Lyra said. "We just need to stay alive until they get here." Outside, explosions echoed. The last drones fought hard, but were falling one by one. Smoke filled the sky. Fires burned across the colony. The Kelthor were everywhere now. The people of Illyris III had no army left. Just workers, medics, students, now turned into defenders. They held homemade weapons, old rifles, and even farming tools. But they stood ready. Lyra climbed onto a crate to speak to them. "Listen to me," she shouted. "The Kelthor think we are weak. They think we'll give up. But we are still here. We are still fighting. And Earth is on its way." Some looked scared. Others looked angry. All of them listened. "If we fall today, we fall together. But if we stand for every colony that was ever left behind. We fight for our homes, for our families, for the right to live." A cheer rose. It wasn't loud, but it was real. Then the wall exploded. A huge Kelthor warbeast crashed through the smoke. It stood 3 meters tall, its body covered in dark armor. 4 glowing eyes stared at them. It roared, a deep, horrible sound and charged forward. "Hold the line," shouted Callan. Bullets and lasers hit the beast, but it kept coming. People screamed. A young man with a shovel ran at it and was thrown aside like a doll. Lyra raised her rifle and fired at the creature's eyes. The beast roared again, this time in pain. Then something changed. The sky lit up. A massive shadow moved above them, blocking the sun. It wasn't a Kelfor ship. It was human. The Vengeance dropped out of orbit like a god of war. Its cannons fired straight into the Kelfor lines. Explosions rocked the ground. Fire fell from the sky. More ships followed. Earth's fleet. Sleek black cruisers. Dropships filled with Terran Marines. Fighters zoomed overhead like hawks hunting prey. The Kelfor turned their heads to the sky. Just for a second. That was enough. Lyra grabbed a grenade, pulled the pin, and threw it under the warbeast. The explosion blew off its legs. The beast fell, screeching, and the defenders rushed forward. Above them, Admiral Riker watched the battle from the Vengeance. "Ground teams, deploy," he ordered. "Leave nothing standing." Dropships launched. Mechs hit the ground with thunder. Earth Marines stormed the field, shouting commands, firing plasma rifles. The Kelfor finally met an enemy they could not break. Inside the bunker, the defenders watched in shock. One old man whispered, "They came. They really came." Lyra smiled, tears in her eyes. "I told you." Outside, Earth soldiers met her at the entrance. "Governor Hale," asked the lead Marine, "we're here to take your people home." She nodded. "They're ready." The Marines helped escort civilians to safe zones while others pushed forward to clear Kelfor strongholds. The battle wasn't over yet, but the tide had turned. For the first time in days, the people of Illyris III felt hope. Above the burning colony, Admiral Riker sent a message to every channel across the galaxy. "This is Earth Fleet Command. The people of Illyris III are under Terran protection. To any who let them suffer, you watched and did nothing. To the Kelfor, we are coming for you next." The message echoed through space, and across the stars, other colonies listened. Some cheered, some trembled. Earth was no longer silent. Earth was here. The galaxy held its breath. After months of quiet, Earth's fleet returned, stronger, larger, and ready. Admiral Dane Riker stood on the deck of the Vengeance, watching the stars. "We won't wait for the enemy to strike first," he said. "We will find them. We will stop them. We will protect every colony, every world." The ships moved together like a great wave. Fighters, cruisers, support vessels, all flying toward the dark regions beyond known space. Governor Lyra Hale watched from Illyris III, her heart full of hope and fear. Earth's promise was more than words now. It was a shield for the weak, a hammer against the darkness. Across the galaxy, people whispered stories of a race that refused to be broken, that stood up when others hid, that fought not for conquest, but for survival and hope. The new enemy waited in the shadows, a mysterious force older than the Kelfor, with powers beyond imagining. But Earth's fleet was ready. They fought with courage, with skill, with a fierce light that cut through the darkest void. And as the battle raged, one truth shone brighter than all. Humanity's light would never be extinguished. Where others saw darkness, humans saw a challenge. Where others feared the unknown, humans faced it head-on. Because humanity was more than a species. They were a force, a light, a promise. And the galaxy would never forget.